Yes! Yes! Welcome to a very, very special edition of Rock Tales, the new hot pinky purple sweater edition of Rock Tales with an old friend, a dear friend, an amazing, legendary guitar player, one of the only peoples in the world that I would let handle a very, very special guitar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Pierce edition of Rock Tales, where we celebrate and highlight my father's, Frank Zappa's, Baby Snake's SG guitar. I don't know how the fuck the electronics work in it, and I figured if someone was going to do a deep dive, there's only, one person that I think, you're a legendary player. People know you as an amazing educator of guitar, and you have a way about you, Tim, the way that you talk and explain, and I just had this warm feeling. Would you, could you, and now thank you for saying yes. Welcome to Rock Tales, Tim Pierce.
Thank you. I feel great being here. Mm-hmm. I look forward to saying some inappropriate things very soon.
I can't wait. Look, so here's the thing. You are always so profesh. You're always honest. You're a gentleman and a scholar. But at some point, I'm going to try, right?
Yeah.
To get you to say things about some of the people that you've recorded with. I mean, I have. First of all, everyone knows who you are, Tim. But if you don't know some of the people that you've played with, I'm just going off of
everybody.
Everybody, right?
Everybody.
So
literally every fucking band, every solo artist.
Are you freaking out right now that Tim is here?
Tim is well. I'm freaking out because Tim is from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I don't know if I've told you guys
That's
before.
like, for Brando,
No,
for Brando,
Brando,
that's like compounding the awesome, right?
It did for me.
Because he's arguably the greatest musician to come from the state of New Mexico.
Oh.
Besides Randy Castillo. We'll get into that later.
Okay. How are you feeling, Tricky Dicky? This must be like a dream come true for you, right?
I think that when you talk to people about, well, who's your top favorite guitar players? They're always like Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, right? We rarely talk about the guys who are actually doing a lot of the work behind the scenes.
Right.
They're not
The guy who comes in to clean up what your favorite guitarist fucked up.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Sitting right there.
The cleaner.
Exactly.
I'm the cleaner.
Well, it was easy with solo artists. They need the musicians. With bands, you have to be kind of a ghost. They don't know necessarily you did it. It happens in secret when you.
Okay. All right. So without saying whose guitar parts you fixed, if you go to your Wikipedia page, it's literally endless, and this is maybe only the stuff you're actually credited for. But out of the years and years that you've been, playing on other people's records, I'll just pick a number. Let's say you've played on 1,000 records.
Yeah.
Out of 1,000 records, how many of those albums do the musicians know you fixed their work? Like, how many secrets out of the thousands of records are we talking? Hundreds?
Well, they
people?
usually know. It just nobody talks about it, and that's the polite society of letting the rock star be the rock star.
Okay.
And I'm fine with it. I always was fine for it because for me it's a day of work or an hour of work. I go in, I do the thing. They might be there, and we shake hands, and we become friends forever. Sometimes they're not there.
Right.
Sometimes it's just the guy mixing the record brings you in secretly just to pump up the mix. That happens.
Sometimes
too.
they're up in a house in the hills, zonked out on various substances, and they don't know that you're there at all.
Little cocaine.
That's true. That's true.
Cocaine.
So it's a small percentage. Most of it's above board, but there are some bands.
Yeah.
And I played on some live things, just
So there aren't
some
like
live
any,
DVDs and some live film stuff where
When no
you
one
just have
knows?
to- where you just have to fix what's there.
But is that like small majority? Like
Small. It's small. Yeah.
Is there someone? Is there someone? You don't need to name this person. Is there someone that if they knew, they would put their face through a plate glass window or come to your house and try to hobble your knees, or is there anyone like that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And generally, because the musicians that I had to replace, they never felt that great about themselves anyway. Probably right.
Ooh.
They were getting.
Wow.
You know, they were getting kind of marginalized in their situation or whatever. They were more insecure.
Well, this is the thing. All right, you came over the other day with one of your pals. We sat around and we were just shooting the shit. And you know, you have this way about you. So I can imagine that you're one part super musical freak of nature, and 2 parts musical therapist, and 3 parts fucking awesome hang. Like I want to, I want to be friends with that guy. So again, I really appreciate us hanging. But I have to ask, you're holding what I don't even like. It's like holding a unicorn to me. How does it feel to be holding the Baby Snakes SG?
It feels great. I picked it up the other day, and not really caring about the lineage or the history of it. I actually like the guitar. Well, it's easy to play and it's lightweight.
Well, you also was like, hey, you can appreciate Frank's music. Be honest about, Frank's music. Are you a fan? Be honest.
I'm more a fan of pop music than of the progressive stuff that Frank did.
Because I have met plenty of a Frank fan that if they were, like to touch that guitar, which is cool if they feel that way, they'll faint, or like, I'm not worthy. And, I just love that, because what I want today, my expectations today is really to learn about the instrument, because there's, Nadi Gotti, our director extraordinaire, can you see all the switches and knobs on this thing? Okay, so it's got a bunch of weird shit in there. And did you figure it all out?
Okay,
will you be able to tell us what it does?
Well, my first issue with it is I think there's something not functioning in the guitar, because we can't make it sound normal.
So you broke it, is what
We
you're saying.
can't. Yeah, I broke it.
Oh, great. Great, he broke
But
it.
you have insurance, right?
Yeah, I know.
it's okay,
Show
right?
over. Yeah, show's over. All right, well, let's talk about what we think is broken and what do we think it is.
Well, there's a couple of the switches actually don't do anything, and I'm hoping that one of these switches, when repaired, would make it sound like a normal guitar, because it won't sound normal right now. I cannot make it sound like the guitar right there, or any of these guitars up here on the wall, which is just straight normal guitar. It's boosted in a couple of different ways 100% of the time, and none of the switches will disable that. So having a choice, I would have somebody open it up, look in it.
Is it powered too? Do we know? Like,
well,
because there should be like a green light. Is the
there
battery
is a green
on in
light.
the back?
There are 2 9-volt batteries in it.
Yeah, and it's functioning. Not very bright, but it's functioning. That's not really the problem. It should be able to sound like a normal guitar with that light off, and right now it doesn't. So that's just an FYI. No judgment.
My good friend Tim Pierce, he broke my dad's guitar.
It's so fucked up.
Fucked up, right?
Literally one of the few things your dad left you that is like,
It's so fucked
it's a
up.
museum piece. It's like literally,
he broke my dad's guitar.
I know.
yeah.
I put my fist inside the guitar.
You fisted
while
the
you
guitar.
weren't looking.
Thank God I have a glass of sea smoke, because I'm freaking out right now.
Well, okay, quick question.
So just so everybody knows, Eric Chaz did come by and looked at all the electronics and said he wasn't sure about the configurations, but he cleaned all of the connections and left them as is.
That's the problem, maybe.
Okay.
Is that something needs to change to make it sound normal, or it doesn't. I mean, it's a piece of history. You don't need it to sound normal.
But your dad
Yeah.
messed with the guitar in his own way, correct? When the guy took a look at it, he was like,
standard
oh,
wiring.
Frank
no,
messed with the wiring in his specific way, right?
I think, and here's what's kind of fun is I have been told a few things. Look, the guitar was given to my dad, apparently backstage.
I have the story. I found it.
Oh, well, Tim, breaker of my dad's guitar, why don't you tell us how it's supposed to work?
So a gentleman named Bart Nagel showed up in 1974 at a concert in Phoenix and forced his way backstage and sold Frank this guitar for $500.
Bart Nagel.
Bart Nagel. And
was he also the famous creator of all of the Nagel paintings that people did lines of blow off of?
Yes.
Okay, he's a photographer, it said. So that's information that
I have no idea.
We filled in the blanks.
It's, when you talk about Nagel paintings, like the cover of the Duran Duran record.
Well,
Gallery.
San Francisco photographer Luthier / Bart Nagel.
Okay.
That's what was in the database. It's a homemade guitar made to look like an SG, and it has some amazing features. It has 23 frets rather than 22.
Yeah, that's the sort of noticeable thing. We could actually pull. We did a collaboration with Gibson, the fine people at Gibson who have always been so supportive of honoring Frank, and we did do the Roxy SG. And when you put them, because that is an original, I think Gibson neck. No,
I don't think so. I mean, many people throughout history have duplicated this headstock, greater or lesser degree. We think, we were just talking, we think it's shaped a little different than a Gibson headstock, but it's really common for people to actually duplicate and kind of counterfeit this headstock. The reason I think it's not a Gibson neck is because the fret markers are actually smaller, and there'd be no way to do that. You just have to, there'd be negative wood if you. So This is an original fretboard, and if he did the fretboard, he probably did the whole neck. So I think this is 100%.
Fake.
Homemade. Wow. That's what I think.
Yeah. Look, you can tell when you put again, for instance, if you measure the Roxy SG, and there's different variations on the SG bodies, right?
Well, there are, but this guy knew what he was doing. This is a good guitar.
I mean,
plays great.
But how many people?
That's why Frank bought it.
Well, if you ask Pete Townsend, right, who I saw not all that long ago, last time I was in the UK, maybe he was talking more about Frank's tone, but he did say, I really like your father's guitar playing, but the worst guitar sound in rock history.
He said that to you?
Yeah. I was like, some people would disagree. He's like, no, I'm right, and you're wrong.
I like your dad's sound.
He's incredible. But you don't like my dad's music like Pete Townsend. Okay, so we're going to learn about this guitar. You feel like it's a quality guitar. Absolutely. You've played tons of instruments. Yeah. Tell me a little... school me on this thing, please.
Okay, so the other day when I picked it up, I thought there was an Octavia circuit in this, and it's not that. It's a Dan Armstrong Green Ringer, which is an octave fuzz. Dan Armstrong used to make these little boxes, and I was lucky enough to have a couple of them in the early 80s. You plug it into your guitar, and it would add a fuzz or add a compressor or whatever. This is a particular kind of fuzz that, for lack of a better word, sounds very Hendrixy, which is really cool.
It sounds fucking awesome. I mean, it's face melting me right now.
It's a great sound, yeah. It's a good fuzz circuit, but I can't really disable it, and it gets stronger. Now, I did read that the other thing that they put in here was an 18 dB boost. I think that's functioning right there. Just gooses it, which for live would be great. You want your solo to stand out, you just click that switch.
Now, remember when Tim would say, like, yeah, I'll just come in for an hour, right? That's what you're getting, right? So yeah, Tim would just like, yeah, I could be there in like 10 minutes. I'll just play down the one pass on the whole thing. I'll just get it out of the way. Clearly, I mean, listen to what this guy's fucking playing right now. Holy bananas!
I've got some licks, yeah. So the gentleman who did the 18-volt boost was named Rex Bogue, and he was kind of famous for making these really ornate guitars. So I did find that out too. But the one thing is, I would love for somebody to make this have the switch that makes it normal, so that you could take it from normal. You know, you're playing a Rick James song or something. You're sounding like a normal.
Give
guitar
us an
player.
example of a Rick
I'm going to
James
try,
song.
but I can't turn. I can't turn the fuzz off.
Yeah. What's the vibe it's giving you?
Yeah, where does it take you?
I really like lightweight guitars, and this is that way. It's like a knife. It's really thin, the body, and the neck's really thin too. It's really easy to play, which I need to.
And that extra fret, is that give
Sure.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, play higher.
Yeah.
But the way it's set up now, it's set up for lead, basically. So I would play lead guitar on this.
Play something good. You know? You know
But
what I mean?
because it's got the fuzz is on all the time, then the rhythm stuff still sounds fuzzy. So that's the thing. That's why I think you'd be great to find somebody famous maybe who could honor the and respect the guitar. But get it, yeah.
My my uncle, he might be someone I could. He worked on some of my dad's electronics. I could probably ask him, but. You know, there's so many great people here in town.
Also, I just noticed, I think that bridge pickup was swapped out because that looks like a super distortion bridge pickup. That does not look like...
Did it originally have the two colors here too?
Well, we can look at a video of it. Let's look.
But you're asking the question. The simplest answer is I would play lead guitar on this like crazy. The way it's set up now. And if I could switch it to normal, then I could play rhythm too.
So Tricky Dickie's putting up... if you want to look over there, you can kind of see some footage of Frank with the guitar Tim from the Baby Snakes show.
That's the sound.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look like...
Yeah, this pickup was changed too. That's a different pickup. Both of them are.
Well, he's got caps on it.
Yep. Well, then...
They might have had zebras underneath.
Fucking Tommy Marr is the greatest. That band is a great band.
Yeah.
Adrian Ballou.
Oh, so good. Oh, how cool. That's fucking ridiculous. So you can hear it on back and then just fucking play it. So rad. You know, those are my memories, right? Of seeing what Richard just played. And unless people like you come in or other guitar players, my brother or other folks utilize the instrument, it's just kind of a shame. So I make this overture to you. The next time some person wants you to play lead, right? If you need a badass guitar, if you feel like it's appropriate for that moment in time, you know, I'll establish the Baby Snakes kind of light up phone from like Batman, right? We'll establish the Baby Snakes phone,
yeah,
right. I'll wait for it to ring because maybe it'll be you, right? And look, it's happening! It's fucking happening!
I need the Baby Snakes guitar.
Yeah, it's like Excalibur, but first we should probably figure out the electronics and get that sorted. You know?
Yeah, I would love that, and maybe you find the perfect person. And see if they agree with me first.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a switch here that I just haven't. There's two switches here that don't do anything.
No, I'm pretty sure he broke it because he touched it last time.
Well, I did put my fist through it.
Yeah.
So
he broke it.
Did Gibson ever make a Baby Snakes guitar? Were they like, Frank, we didn't make that guitar. What are you doing?
I think that they should because I mean, they should make it an official Gibson guitar, even though
Steal
it has
it back.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Did fans assume that was like a specially made Gibson guitar for Frank?
I mean, I guess people know. I mean, I knew that it was given to him or Frank bought it. I didn't know the pedigree of it.
But you're right. They should take it back.
Yeah.
That's the move.
Mark Agnesi.
Take it back.
Right? Tell Mark. Fucking tell him. Tell him. I've been corresponding with him too. I mean, God bless that organization. They do such a good job with all of the guitar players that they work with, and their reissues are like perfect. They care so much. So, if enough people, I guess, hound them and want something like this, it would be my pleasure to make them, give it to them to scan and, figure it all out, because that would be great to have other people that, want this kind of a replica.
We should all try hard to make that happen. All of us.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll see right there.
Yeah.
Did you ever play on the Thompson Twins records?
I didn't.
Bananarama?
That era, the 80s, my guy was Rick Springfield.
Yeah, so basically you're a failure because you didn't play on Thompson Twins or
No,
Bananarama?
I listened to them, and we did Live Aid, so they were probably on right after us.
But you didn't get to what I'm saying is the pinnacle of, and everyone knows the Thompson Twins are magic, and Bananarama magic. Did you play on, let's see, Depeche Mode? Ever play?
I can make this
again,
really...
So do you feel like a failure?
Totally.
Do you feel like a failure?
Yeah. I was really a failure back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the 80s, it was Bon Jovi and John Waite and Kenny Loggins and Rick Springfield and then Crowded House.
And who are those people?
No one has heard of those bands. And that's my point, is like you being all braggadocious, like I played with some of these bands right now, when we are mentioning legends, and then you're bringing up like, who are these other artists?
Just American, regular American people.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Into the Gap, Thompson
John
Twins.
Waite's
That's
British.
his Sgt. Pepper's.
I wish I'd been there.
Yeah.
If I'd grown up over there, wherever they were.
But you like pop. You agree with me. That's a great record.
Them. Yeah. The 80s music, we were embarrassed about it when it happened, but now we know it was really the best music.
Yeah. We had lunch. Well, let me back up. So we met, I want to say it was when I was like 17 or 18, right? Does that
Yeah,
seem
that's
right?
right. Exactly right. Yeah.
And maybe I was a little bit younger. I don't know. That's my recollection. And
You could have been 16, actually.
you were so, I would meet a lot of people, right? And, I was told like, oh, you've played on a bunch of records that I loved, and that's totally cool. And that was sort of normal in my house. But not everybody is as kind and open with their energy and like a good person, good hang. And I enjoyed every moment we spent together. And, I think at that time you'll correct me on this. I think you were in like a new relationship, and I was learning about your son or your stepson.
Stepson, yeah.
And I thought that was also really interesting because he was younger, and that was like an exciting time for you. Am I getting this right?
Well, yeah, you were open to us though too. I had this little instant family. So when I was 25, I got married, and then you got to lunch, and you're going, wow, that's expensive lunch for 3 people. It used to be 1 person. Oh, well, here we go. Yeah, right? Yeah. So I got this wonderful family, 6-year-old Nigel and Patty, my wife. And that we actually had one of his birthday parties at Joe's Garage. And you were there.
Yeah.
And you were super cool, and it was an amazing event. And everybody, all you guys were really, really nice. And the whole thing happened because I was working on Toy Matinee, and I remember being in the kitchen at Toy Matinee.
Yeah.
So I was in the kitchen, and I got a call from Dweezil Zappa, and it was like, okay. I called him back, and he said, hey, would you give me guitar lessons? And I said, sure, but I won't charge you. That's how we do it. So I ended up over in your studio, and Gail came downstairs at a moment when Dweezil was teaching me something, and she looked at me. She didn't know I wasn't getting paid. She looked at me with kind of an incredulous look, like, okay, we're paying you, and he's teaching you? And then when she told him that I was not accepting any money, it was like, I instantly became friends with the whole family. It was so fun. Yeah. Used to go to gigs and sit with Gail and watch the band, then come up and sit in with the band with you guys.
Yeah.
and I met Frank.
By the way,
in that period.
By the way, I do reflect back on playing, with my brother and those records, and the records to me sound like dog shit, right? But we were crazy with the stuff that we were playing, and the shows were so long. Like we would play these long 2.5 hour, 3 hour shows, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and just jumping around.
Do you remember one where you opened for Spinal Tap? You remember that one?
I do.
Yeah, I came up and played.
Yeah. I probably have. I think I have pictures from that night because, if memory serves, didn't Warren from the Vandals come out with a mask, butt naked, and kind of streaked across the stage?
I don't remember that, but
yeah,
that's on me.
Yeah, he's incredible. But I mean, this is what I'm saying is it became a special time to hang out with you, and then I would, see you in the Valley at restaurants, and I would be like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with Tim, and so I lost touch with you in kind of that back and forth communication, and I called Phil X. I'm like, dude, do you have Tim's number? I want to reconnect with him. So I have thank you Phil X for making that reconnection there, and it's just been great to spend time with you, and now I want to try to have you fuck around if you feel like it, or not, and I want to grill you. We're going to take a commercial break.
Okay.
And when we come back, let's kind of go through the fun things that you've played. Pick a guitar off the wall if you want.
Okay.
But I mean, do you feel like we've done enough with the Baby Snakes guitar?
Oh yeah, we have exhausted what we know right now about Baby Snakes, but there's much more to do in the future. So
well, should we all say goodbye to Baby Snakes guitar? Bye, Baby Snakes guitar. Bye. It's Rock Tales. We'll be right back after this brief commercial break.
Zappa's newest LP, Apostrophe! Great googly moogly. That's right, you heard right! With Nanook rubs it! Watch out where the don't eat the yellow snow! Cosmic debris and many more! Frank Z and Apostrophe!
Available at Swellens at their everyday low prices. Get a 10% off with $10 purchase or more.
And more unfiltered conversation from some very uninhibited people. This is Rock Tales with Zappa.
All right, we are back. I'm happy to be here. We have retired the Baby Snakes guitar. Tim Pierce is gracing us with his presence on a very special guitar-focused episode of Rock Tales. So, Tim, I'm just gonna read out some of the bands you've played with that I can't believe. Obviously, you mentioned earlier Bon Jovi. Just kind of I'm on your Wikipedia page. Rick Springfield, Crowded House. I mean, there's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bands, but the ones that, catch my breath, Madonna, incredible. Toy Matinee, your band, insane. The Arachnophobia soundtrack, it's got to be probably the most impressive thing you ever worked on. Let's just see.
How does a guy from Albuquerque, New Mexico, get from the mean streets of Albuquerque to Arachnophobia?
Yeah. It's timing. It's just timing.
I didn't realize you played on What's Love Got to Do with It?
I didn't play on that, no.
Well, Wikipedia. Fuck you, Wikipedia. Embarrassing me on my own show.
Probably means I'm getting paid for it somewhere, somehow. So that's cool.
Well, that's congratulations. That's wonderful. Okay, well then maybe I shouldn't read down all of this stuff.
I did work with Tina Turner, so that's how those things happen. I was on.
cool.
You know what it was?
Yeah,
I was on a greatest hits record probably that song was on, and that's probably why I got associated and why I'm getting paid so much for it right now.
That's wonderful. Well, that's shh. You did play on it. That's probably good. The Mighty Morphing Power Rangers. Let's start there. 1995.
Yeah.
You're approached, and do they just call you? Is it a Red Ranger, a Blue Ranger? Which of the Rangers calls you?
I'm thinking that was Ron Nevison, who was this amazing, still is, amazing record producer, produced Heart, and he was an engineer that he engineered on Kashmir. He got the drum sound on Kashmir. Led Zeppelin. He did a lot of amazing records. The Who, Quadrophenia.
So are you telling me that you played on a theme song for one version of the Mighty Morphing Power Rangers?
Yeah, but it's just, I'm telling you, the guy who got me the gig. This is how, the connection.
Irrelevant. As far as I'm concerned, you wrote it and you're responsible for the whole franchise. Like when I look at Wikipedia, I'm like, Tim probably not only played on the soundtrack, but he created it.
Haim Saban called him and said, Tim, I need an idea for a kid's show.
Yeah,
right,
Haim Saban, exactly.
Get Tim Pierce to do this giant
There's one guy
song.
Yeah.
It's so not that.
Yeah, that's my take on
There's
this.
a string of people that it's show business, and there's big people and little people, and then people in the middle. And I was one of the people in the middle. And
then there's the Tim Pierces.
But it was just between one record and another record. I got called to do a session for a soundtrack, and I didn't know it was going to be huge. I didn't know people were going to ask me about that for the rest of my life, and that's how it happens.
I mean, holy
I
bananas.
get asked about that all the time. People say, "I can't believe you played on that."
Do you remember what you played?
I don't. But you can play it for me.
Can you play? Can
play
you,
it for
can
me?
you find?
I could.
I don't know. It's the 1995
What am I
original
looking for?
soundtrack.
Mighty
I don't know what that is.
A Power Rangers theme song.
Yeah, out of everything that we can do right now, to me, that's
probably 1,200 songs a year, maybe 1,500 songs a year. So that was just one stop on the way from one thing to the next.
Yeah,
there it is.
And you stop the channel. This is my favorite show because of this.
Are you doing that? Is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, so out of all of the tracks that you've played on, this had to have paid the most, the most, right? I mean, being played every single day on TV. I hope in my fantasy, it's like you're like, I bought a fleet of Corvettes every single day.
Did you buy your first house with the money you made off Power Rangers?
No, this is perfect, and I can dispense with this very quickly. The royalties musicians get happen everywhere except the United States. I think it's North Korea and Iran or Syria. Everywhere else in the world, everywhere else in the world, if you're performing on a song, the government has established a system where you get a little bit of a royalty. So it's very modest at times, but it does come in. They're called neighboring rights.
Yep.
And that's how I get paid for something like this. And it's a few pennies here and there, but they do add up. So, and they last.
So if you were born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the way to really cash in is to somehow become a member of the UA, right? Because it unlocks a whole other, bank vault.
The UA.
The UE?
That's what I said. What he said.
What's the UE?
What is it?
The UEA, the
European Union?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that.
The EU?
Yeah, I said the J5.
Yeah.
If you could be a part of the if you could be a part of the J5.
Well, you're right. They do take care of us musicians.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah. So if you have a European passport, there's more of a war
EU?
chest. Yeah,
What was the music scene like when you were a teenager in Albuquerque? Because you're not that much older than me.
Okay, so it was kind of like Breaking Bad, very dangerous. Walking to your car was always an experience. You remember?
Freeze! Do this meth. Eat it. Hot chili.
Exactly. Yes. So lots of drugs and lots of bands, live bands, musicians, amplifiers, guitars.
Was Wolfman Jack also a part of your
I think he
audio
Yeah,
experience.
absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Because anytime I was in New Mexico, I just remember being like, "Wow, Wolfman Jack is still, crushing it."
It was a
on the
rock
radios.
city,
Yeah.
and we would get a lot of the big bands. Some wouldn't stop there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Led Zeppelin. Hendrix came, but my mom wouldn't let me see him. I was just a hair too young for that. Saw a lot of the great bands, and
Why? She was like, "I don't want you seeing."
I think I
mind
was just
expanding.
a little 1 year too young, basically. Then I started to go to see everybody. So it was a great city for imagining the possibilities of substances and great music.
So did you ever trip balls in the desert? And you're like,
peyote.
Really?
That's all they do.
Really?
We drive out.
Yeah.
We drive out onto
Yeah.
the reservation, drink a case of Coors Light.
But is
Nothing
it,
like peyote.
Is
Yeah.
peyote does it grow off a cactus? What is it?
It does. It grows off a cactus, and it makes you sick when you eat it. And if you just keep it inside your body long enough before you throw up, you get this amazing, gentle, hallucinogenic high.
So why aren't we making like peyote liqueur? Like, I mean, are we missing
Really
the boat
is a
right now?
shame, yeah.
Well,
Really is
did a
shame.
roadrunner pop up on a rock and be like, "Tim, it's time to leave Albuquerque and go to Los Angeles"? Like, how do you make that move?
That is a great question, because what happens is you're playing. I felt like I was in a bar like 6 nights a week playing covers, right? Mm-hmm. And I was going, this
Are you sure you in a bar, or are you just on peyote imagining it? Because I want to understand, right? Because that's a lot
I didn't
of
do
nights.
that often. I would have done it every day, but it was kind of hard to get even then. So I was playing for people, and they're coming in and out of the club, and I'm going, oh, this feels kind of like what it must be like to be like a night watchman, right?
Okay.
I'm on the job at night in a bar.
So did you see like werewolves and ghosts?
Well, they were I saw depression, basically.
Yeah, the drinking in Albuquerque is top level professional drinking.
It was like, I don't want to be here very long. And so my mom gave me her car, and
You haven't mentioned your dad. Did you grow up in a single mom home?
No. We had a family, kind of an amazing middle class family. My dad worked at a nuclear weapons lab. He was the accountant who managed their books and stuff.
That makes
Sandia Labs.
Yeah,
that,
Sandia Labs.
That makes sense.
Exactly,
That
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah, totally legit. And we lived right near the Air Force Base.
Yep.
Nukes and peyote.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get it.
They
You
let
get
us.
it.
They let me do what I want, and so I got to do lots of music and lots of peyote, and they were great. And
I should know this. Do you have sisters, brothers?
2 sisters. One passed away, and one's still with us.
I'm sorry for your loss. Are your parents?
okay.
Are your parents?
They
still
passed away too. Yeah, I'm a little older, so that happens.
You're an
Happened
orphan
to you,
like
happened to
me.
Yeah,
Not great.
right, not great.
Not great.
We miss them greatly.
But you
We
get the
do.
car. Your mom gives you a car.
Yes, and so I have a little bit of money, and the thing is, I drove to LA in 1979, and I had one connection I got one gig, and that led to other gigs. And the real news is, New Mexico, being a musician in New Mexico, it was like, okay, I will be suicidal if I stay here, so I had to leave. But it's 810 miles. It's a drive. It's an easy drive. So I drove, and LA in 1980 was actually a nurturing place. A place where you could just land.
First of all,
You could
the
land
fucking
here.
80s were excellent. And I think
Excellent.
it's like the best. People, look, we have documented audio proof of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s in terms of musical output. I don't know why people have give 80s, think it's like not more magnificent than the fucking 50s, 60s, or the 70s. The 80s fucking crushed it.
Well, it's the best.
The fucking best.
So on that
did.
point, I'm going to ask one last straight question, and then I'm going to.
We're Albuquerque brothers. You can ask as many
Here's
as you
my
want.
question. You get to LA in 79, 80, right? There's a couple very important scenes going on, rock scenes. There's
this-
like
are you just swinging
downtown in
ass to be-
Chinatown, you've got Madame Wong's and the Hong Kong Cafe, New Wave and Punk. You've got the Starwood. You've got stuff going on at the Troubadour. You've got the early scenes of what would become metal. You got Quiet Riot playing. You got Randy Rhoads playing. Like, did you fall into a scene?
Absolutely. And you're exactly right. There were 2. So you had Van Halen on one hand.
Yeah.
And then you had the Knack on the other hand.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had these huge. I fell more into the quirky kind of new age scene. New age.
I love it.
New age.
That's my
New
question.
wave.
Right, the
New
skinny
wave.
ties, 2020.
So I
the
could do
Knack,
that,
Plimsolls.
but then so image-wise, I couldn't really join a band because I didn't have the hair or the image for it. But I ended up doing rock records within like 2 or 3 years because of the people I met. I met John Waite, I met John Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
And they needed a guitar player for a couple of things. And I did a demo with John Bon Jovi, which became his first single, Runaway.
Yeah. Here we go.
I gotta get Wangbar for that.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that my sister just kept fucking rubbing it out to this music video. You know, Moo was in love with Jovi.
By the way, Colossal on 94 Rock and Rock 108 in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
So, you wrote this with him in the studio. So how do you wind up the guitar player on this track versus Richie?
Okay, so I was asked to join Rick Springfield's band at that moment.
Yeah.
And Bon Jovi was not a famous person at that moment. He was
Right.
just an ambitious 19-year-old guy I did a demo for. And he wanted to put a band together, but I had no hair.
Right.
And I lived in LA. And he needed to put that band together with his brothers. And Sambora was a much better choice than me. John didn't even ask me. I didn't have the image for it.
Right.
But I had the image to put on a hat and tour with Rick Springfield. And that felt more comfortable anyway. Now, the hard part was watching Bon Jovi become the biggest band in the world. And you go, okay, so there was a train station. There was a train there.
Yep.
The door was open on the train.
Yeah.
And I did not walk onto that
Yeah.
But because of
Train.
image.
But you could have like you know, like in the movie Scrooged, where they ask him, Bill Murray, they have little mice and they want to put antlers on the mice, and he's like, "Did you try Staples? You could have gone."
No,
and like
I could
gotten
have.
the
Yeah, I could have
fucking-
gotten the big giant thing, but I just didn't think that way. I mean, John and his keyboard player even came out and they wanted to put together a band, maybe with some LA musicians. I took them to Casa Vega, and we talked about getting musicians.
Thank you, Casa Vega. The Chiquita salad, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the best. It used to be the best.
The fucking best. Wow. It's the best.
It is the best.
It's the best.
It's the best.
So, you know, that is an exciting time, but going to Okie Dog dressed as a nerd in the 80s without the big hair and, you know, playing in Rick Springfield, who gave us tremendous hits.
He's awesome. He's still a good friend of mine. I see him a lot.
I love him.
Yeah, he's
I love
awesome.
him. We want him on the show. So
I think he's on tour with Richard Marx right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
by the way, Richard Marx, another amazing. Did you play with Richard too?
I didn't. No, he liked a different guitar player, so he didn't call me.
But Richard is like a great songwriter, right?
Great singer too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But Rick, did you play? Oh, do you know about me wanting to change my name to Rick?
No.
Oh God, this is so important. I never liked my first name Amit.
Okay.
Right. I now say it's Taliban Chic, so that people understand. Amit Imuka Rodan Zappa is not the best name in Los Angeles. Okay, I'm cool with it now, but I just fell in love with the name Rick. You know, and then when Rick Springfield comes around with, I begged my parents. I made my brother. I was like, please draw my new Mead denim folder. I was going back to school. He drew on my notebook. My new name is Rick Zappa. Right. My parents are like, if you're gonna do this, you gotta stick to your guns. Right. And I was like, oh, thank you. No, of course, I absolutely. I'm sick and tired of people making fun of Amit, Vomit, all of that. Like, this is going to put an end to that right away. Rick is a powerful name. And then, of course, everyone is Rick the Dick. But the point is, when I made that decision to be Rick, there were thoughts in my head of other powerful Ricks.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
And Rick Springfield being one of them. And most people talk about Jesse's Girl as an amazing track, but I would like to play Bop to You, Drop in the Hot City. Hot City?
Hot
Bop
City.
to You.
Hot. H-O-T, I think.
Hot City. Can you play Bop Till You Drop? That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, Bop Till You Drop.
This music video, there was a moment in time where I think everyone had to have a post-apocalyptic world music video. There's like a year in the 80s where everybody did this. Duran,
Judas Priest, Scorpions.
Yeah. Didn't this come out the same time as like Wild Boys with Duran? It's the same music video, essentially, right?
They had to, and they were all the same.
What a fucking groove, right?
Yeah.
Wait.
Cricket. Wait, time out.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Load up the bong.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you in the, is it the Hard to Hold movie? I mean,
Very unfair. Very unfair.
Because were you there when that was being made?
So we were in the band, but
Okay.
there was a decision made that the band members shouldn't be in the movie. You know, it makes sense. It's Hollywood. You know Hollywood.
Right. Yeah.
You created Hollywood.
Yeah.
You've made those decisions.
It's always great for morale when you marginalize other people that you play with. Of course, great idea.
Exactly. Then you can have more control over them. And, and
it's beautiful.
Wonderful.
So you're not in the Hard to Hold movie.
I played on the soundtrack, and I even wrote a song. Rick threw me a bone, and I wrote a song that's on the soundtrack. Yeah.
But, you know, people can misunderstand when you say Rick threw me a bone. They might actually think you had a great night with him because he's so very handsome.
Yeah, we never thought that way, but he did tell me to get some new underwear once.
So you're denying the fact that you maybe had an awkward night with him in a jacuzzi. I just want to
What's
make
the
that
song,
really
Tim?
clear.
No, we've been in jacuzzis a lot. but-
All right. I'll leave that open-ended. This just in, Tim Pierce admits to jacuzziing with Rick Springfield. What's the real meaning to Bop Till You Drop in the Hot City? Wow. Hot tubs? Who knows?
What a move.
knows?
Boy, did you guys play Tingley Coliseum?
We did, yeah.
Was that the biggest show you'd ever played in Albuquerque?
Yeah.
We're back to Albuquerque.
I want to know.
I know.
It's a big deal. He
Hold on,
kept
my
coming
parents
back.
I
were
wanna
there.
know. I wanna
My bride-to-be was there.
Hold
it was
on.
awesome.
Go ahead and ask him a new Albuquerque question. Go ahead.
What's your go-to move when you go back to visit? What's your favorite restaurant?
I love Mexican food and Las Cuates.
Los Cuates.
I like, yeah.
Los Cuates and Lomas.
I mean, Sadie's is always really good too. Yeah. No. You know what my favorite thing to do is go have breakfast at the pharmacy, the
Duran's.
Pharmacy.
Oh, yeah, really?
Breakfast at Duran's Pharmacy.
I feel so left out.
But that, look, it's a big deal. He got to play.
Unbelievable.
He got to play his hometown, the biggest venue in town. He got to play Tingley
Yeah, it was
Coliseum.
great.
Hey,
It's
listen,
epic.
it's a round table. It's fine.
Yeah.
You guys have your own conversation. Tricky Dicky and I are
Okay.
happy to talk about other kind of music.
I love the frontier. I mean, that's where
I do
like,
too.
grew
I
up going
love
to
the frontier. I would go there right now.
me,
if I could.
us too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love I
it.
love Journey Frontiers. I think it's great. Is that what you're talking about?
What was the song you wrote with Rick?
It was called SFO. It's an instrumental, and he threw me a bone. It was like, okay, I'm going to give this kid a little bit of a piece of this.
SFO.
Yeah.
Super flying object.
Yeah.
Sexy
It was like
flying object.
he needed a song
Sexy
for a car
fucking-
chase, and he
Yeah.
asked me to write it with him so that I could have a little piece of it. It's really wonderful.
And you're like, wait, we're gonna do my song? I can pick whatever my sound is.
Wow.
This sounds like a honestly, can you play the track again, okay? Where's that dun, 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 dun? Where's that part? This part? That dun, 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 dun. That is so fucking 80s.
It's Fast Times.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
said it Fast
Yeah.
Times.
Yeah.
Like you're panning through the large hallway in the fucking high school.
It may as well be the fucking soundtrack to Beverly Hills Cop. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like when you're like driving down the street, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. Hey guys, hey girls, you're like in Beverly Hills, Axel Foley
absolutely
waving.
right.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. That's the banana in the tailpipe
A
sound.
little bit of
That's what
police
that is.
thrown in there, you know, a little
yeah.
police influence.
Did you ever play with the police?
No.
Do you think you could kick Sting's ass in a fight? Just be real, bro.
Oh yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I could, yeah.
This Tim Pierce, MMA fighter. Can he do as much yoga as Sting? Can he sandwich himself in half? An auto
Fellatio.
Well, I was going to say asphyxiate. I don't know. I don't know the words. I find this gag is lame. I'm over it.
It's lame.
Cheers. How many records have you played on that have gone platinum?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 20 to 50. I've never been asked that question.
See, that's why you got to do shows like Rocktails, the hard-hitting
right.
questions.
Between 20 and 50, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a solid, totally.
But most of those, like I
did
a Madonna record and I made like $300. So, but then there's those little neighboring rights royalties that come in.
So out of some of these, huge stars, right?
Some of them, yes.
With Madonna, right? People ask you all the time, what must have that have been like? My question to you about that experience is, what was catering like?
Well, it's funny you should bring that up. She didn't allow people to eat during the day because she felt they would be at their best if they didn't get that lunch.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that. Not feeding, not making people comfortable or feeling.
Well, I get that. I don't think she worked long days though. I think it was like, okay, we're gonna kill it for 6 hours and then we're done. So I actually kind of I can understand the philosophy. You work really hard, work through lunch, go home early.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think it. Yeah, I don't.
I
don't hate her for it.
So were you saying I should have? Did you just say I hate her? I don't hate her. I worship her. My wife worships her. So you're saying I should adopt the Madonna method? Is that what you're saying?
As long as you let everybody go home at 4 p.m. Yeah.
Well, I just love that I don't have to pay for a meal. That sounds like you're saving some dough.
He
loves to eat.
Yeah.
He loves to eat.
Yeah,
So do I.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, let's work really hard and then all go out and blow it out. Did she at least take you guys out afterwards?
Not me. No, somebody else.
Oh, that must feel bad.
Sean Penn
Madonna.
at that time, I think.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like Subway?
Yeah.
Togo's?
Roro's Chicken on Sunset.
It could have happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Lame.
What was your favorite? I'm sure you worked with a lot of your friends that were producers, and I bet they all kind of worked in their favorite studios, but not necessarily the people. But did you have an affinity towards a studio?
Sunset Sound.
Sunset Sound.
Right?
Yeah, it's the best. It's like the records on the wall are the best records ever made. And yet
do you think it still has that vibe? Because
it does. It does.
I think it does.
Yeah.
It's got a good hang vibe.
It does.
The social space in there.
Not pretentious. They're not putting pretty people in it all the time.
Yeah, and it has that. It hasn't been. They've updated the parts that need updating.
Exactly.
But the vibe is still. You still. Ooh, I hit the mic. You still have the history on the walls and the feeling. Great
and
sounding
easy
rooms.
parking, easy load in.
Well, people don't know that the homeless campmen are on the outside of it.
a real
Those are
problem.
actual employees. Those are security guards. They're in disguise.
It's the Madonna method. You're like, we are not going to pay you a fair wage, but we will let you sleep in a tent outside the building, so it's easy for you to come in. We'll give you a Keurig. You get 2 K-cups a day.
That's right.
2 K-cups.
Okay. All right.
That's the Madonna method. 2 K-cups.
Okay.
Right?
And Roro's
But
Chicken
not the
next door.
chai. The chai is Bill's. That's Bill's fucking chai. He orders that special from Walmart.com. Don't touch Bill's chai or you're fucking out.
Roro's is very good.
Yeah, thank you.
But I think you don't want to walk over there.
No. Is there a tunnel from Sunset Sound to the 7-Eleven and Roro's?
I didn't have to
I
walk
make
over
the
there.
mistake, because I have a convertible, I make the mistake of having the top down, making a left there. That's a solid no-no. Because this is how that can go down. It's like
You're waiting at the light.
yeah, hey man, what's up? And they're like, I just use all these heroin needles as like human darts. They're like, I have like whatever I have happening in my body and my unhappiness and whatever illness, let's throw it at that guy's shiny bald head. And then you're like a porcupine once you get underneath the freeway underpass with your like.
I don't know how did that happen.
Book me a room at Cedars. Give me a room at Cedars.
Love to eat Thai food in that mini mall.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best Thai restaurants in the
did not
city.
know that.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
If I had one complaint about Roro's, it's the hummus isn't as good as the Zanku combo.
Tim, this is as much of a food show as it is a music show.
I'm so glad
just so
because
you
I'm getting
know.
really
not
hungry
wrong.
right now. I'm really hungry.
I already made the reservation.
Yeah,
We
great,
have it.
great.
We're going to have great food.
Tim, can I be selfish for one moment?
Please.
And just
We're just getting started.
Can you talk briefly about Toy Matinee, a
Yes.
band that you helped form and that you were there at the beginning of?
Well, I was chosen in part because I wasn't like the other guitar players. I wasn't as slick as the other guitar players. And Pat Leonard, the mastermind of Toy Matinee, wanted somebody who sounded a bit more like, somebody British, somebody not so LA and slick. So that's why I got the gig. But that was Patrick Leonard's, kind of art project.
And do you feel also blessed that the music videos were also post-apocalyptic music videos?
Well, they had music videos. You spend all this money, you give it all to the director, and there's a 3-day shoot, and it's in a building, and you got to make that building look like something, so you make it look like a war happened.
You need a
It's all
rusty
happened.
windmill.
Exactly.
You need junkyard objects.
Yeah, or you go out to Edwards Air Force Base to the salvage yard. There were like 3 things that you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And a model that just goes.
Yeah.
That too.
Totally.
Yeah, it's but you have to spend the budget. You spend like. $100,000 on the budget and then $1 million on the video. And
Yeah,
it
that's
has to be in the
perfect.
building with the director who gets paid. And
Yeah. So it's like, you're in this great band. You're making unbelievable music, which is true. This is the video I'm referencing. It's like you're moving.
That's Kevin Gilbert, by the way, and he's no longer with us. He checked out early.
Great singer.
Great singer.
Yeah. But, you get.
So it was a band that couldn't stay together because everybody was too busy, and then people didn't get along, and the band actually broke up before the record was done. Really,
Oh, wow.
That's just great news for everyone to.
it's okay.
But it was a wonderful record.
Yeah,
It had a huge impact, legitimately. Part of.
Yeah.
What I should have said is, great to hang out. Thank you again for coming on the show. But really, the person here who couldn't be happier, who double checked every knob, plugged in every wire all over, is Tricky Dicky, our producer extraordinaire.
Yay.
He genuinely, and he shared this with you. But I'll be a little more. I don't want to embarrass you, but this is very, very meaningful. I don't get it. I think you're fine. You're a good human. But he thinks like you're the bee's knees. You're great. I'm saying you're a fantastic player and all that. But to Richard, you're like,
He's my
you're
Jimi
kind
Hendrix.
of a big deal.
Well,
Right?
that's good. We have a future together, and I look forward to whatever that turns out to be. It's great.
See,
I'm
so
open. I'm
it's
open.
almost like you're from New Mexico. You know what I mean? It's almost like you have that in
Yeah,
common.
we're
You
the
might
Toy
want to
Matinee
drop some
brother.
Roro chicken comments and try to, because right now, I feel like Brando and Tim are besties.
Well, we can have a Toy Matinee night, and I will tell you absolutely everything.
That would be fantastic.
Everything.
Yeah.
Did you guys go on the road with anyone?
I
at that
didn't,
time?
but Kevin Gilbert, after the band broke up, Kevin Gilbert took a band out and called it Toy Matinee for a little while.
That move.
Oh, no, it was okay. It's totally understandable. People
Yeah.
have to, we were all busy. We were all doing, our own things. And Pat created a band, and it was just a pressure cooker, and it couldn't stay together. That's all.
So knowing, if you could go back in time, right? Knowing the tracks that you played on, okay? And you were going to form your own band and do a ton of heroin, get hair extensions, hair plugs, whatever. You could look the part. Just describe to me, if you had a magic wand and you were gonna look like you wanted to look, right? I want to know, what would your 80s band be called? Okay. Tell me what kind of outfits you're wearing, right? And what songs that you played on would be the 10 tracks on your debut. Like the Cars, their first record is a perfect record. So if you were gonna form your supergroup, you're the lead. You got a golden voice, you look the part, all of it. Describe it to me. You're on the fucking cover of the album, okay? I'm like, let's imagine, should we hold hands? Let's hold hands and just talk about it for a second. What would that record be called? Share with us today, Tim. really dial it in. I want you to let go of the past. And,
Okay. So it would be sort of like Miami Vice in some ways.
yeah.
It would be
nice jacket.
Nice
Use
jacket.
the font.
Yeah. I might be wearing a white suit.
Oh yeah,
Right? Which I did actually in Albuquerque. Near the end, I had a white suit. Did very well with that
sweet.
thing.
A t-shirt, an open blouse.
T-shirt. No, it's got to be a T-shirt. Yeah.
Okay,
and so it would be very Miami Vice. The name of the band.
like
hot
this color
pink
shirt.
sweater?
Hold on, wait. Name of the band.
What's the
name
name?
of the band? Something to do with the night.
Like
dark
what?
the night. I don't know.
Wait,
Street
dark-
lights.
dark the night?
Street dark the night.
Night Riders?
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Right. And
No, you got to give me a definitive name. Like
Nightwing.
Give me like a true. Just even if it's the name, not that it's the name that would be cool today, but the thing that you would have picked that maybe your music made it cool. Where you're like, it's the worst name of a band, but the tracks are good. Give it. I mean, I understand the look.
Horsepower.
All right.
Nighthawk. How about Nighthawk?
He said horsepower.
Okay.
The band is horsepower.
I thought we were going with night.
fucking love.
Now we're on
wait,
horses.
Are you?
Horsepower.
Are you? I love it. Are you on a neon pony with your jacket? I mean, like
First
what's
album is called Bareback.
horsepower.
No,
baby.
this is. I'm thinking cars, dude. I'm thinking these are cars. Yeah.
So it's not like about like
Yeah.
It's not like an equine themed situation. Equestrian.
So you're in a white
magic.
suit on a Lamborghini.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have horses in the background too, or girls, nude girls and horses, or
No, you just start thinking about an engine, and it'll take you away from the horses and the ponies and
Okay,
stuff. Think
all
of
right.
an engine, yeah.
Cool.
I think it's good. Horsepower.
Horsepower might be better for the band.
By the way, I can't wait to fucking build this time machine.
No, the songs would be about the night. The
Fucking awesome. All about the night. Okay, so what?
Move on. There's a heart of the night out call.
exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm your knight in shining armor in the night.
Exactly.
In the night.
Exactly.
I'm your knight in the night tonight.
Neon
got it.
night.
Tonight. Okay, so
You got it.
What are the 10 tracks on your debut album?
Now, are these tracks that?
These are your hits, bro, that you played
My
on. You're
hits?
stealing from everyone.
Okay, so in the '80s. Oh, so like
you get
other
to-
bands.
Your band is
right?
called Horsepower now. You fucking look the part, right? What tracks did you play? And you get to steal from for everything you played on.
Okay.
What are your 10 tracks
Okay.
on your debut record?
Okay, we'd start with Red Rain.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Peter
right.
Gabriel, Red
Yeah,
Rain?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You played on that?
No.
Okay. All right. Then we're
I thought it
missing
was
a
my
piece.
fantasy. Oh, tracks that I played
That
on.
you played on. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'd have to start with Runaway.
But
right?
okay, all right. Runaways on
I
there.
didn't do that much in the '80s, right? It all started for me in the '90s.
Okay, but
the
if you
real
love
game
the 80s,
started in the
like I
90s.
just go.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus Christ, man. Okay,
would be-
talk some sense
Okay,
into
so
it,
it's
Tricky
it's
Dicky.
Love Somebody by Rick Springfield.
Oh.
It's Runaway by John Bon Jovi. Vox Humana by Kenny Loggins.
Oh, love this.
Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House.
Okay.
Trying to think. Oh, Change by John Waite. So I got
that's a good
5
one.
of them.
That's a
yeah,
good
those
one.
are
Okay.
Those are the notable ones.
Then you can have some like other ones that like don't quite make it. That's a solid
The
debut.
band's starting with an EP.
Yeah. All right, so
Bono sang "Don't Dream It's Over" when I saw them in Vegas a couple of weeks ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he did.
but you know what? Here's the sad part. Horsepower, right? First record, so successful, so
but
successful, and a lot of nose candy, peyote.
Totally.
But then you know what? And people are like, what happened to Tim Pierce? And then it's 1991, and then
They get back together.
comes back together. Horsepower, Volume 2. Horsepower, 0 to 60.
But now we're going to
There you
grunge
go.
it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
so
There you
now
go.
what's on your 90s? 90s comeback record.
Well, in the '90s, I started working with like Peter Cetera and
Yeah, you
Tina
did.
Turner and Whitney Houston and
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, so
and
people are disappointed, is what you're saying,
look
with
at
your
the
comeback
list.
record.
So
They're disappointed.
Black or White by Michael Jackson.
Who's that?
No one's heard of that guy.
He was,
I don't know. I'd have to look
was
at
he
the
a local
list.
musician?
He was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, yeah.
Were you in the studio with him?
I was. Yeah.
And, everyone says that those experiences with him were He knew what he wanted, and they were great.
Yeah.
Is that true? Like,
it is true. I mean, I went into a studio with trusted friends. One guy from the producer, Bill Bottrell, from Toy Matinee, who played that guitar part.
fucking huge hit.
Yeah, and Michael was waiting secretly in an adjacent room. It was at Record One in Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
Doing whatever business he needed to do and waiting for the right moment. And we came up with a part that sounded like a Motley Crue song that he was enamored with at that time.
Are you not saying, or
Dr.
you just can't
Love,
remember?
Dr.
Dr. Feelgood?
Dr. Feelgood, that was it, yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
It's just in! It's just in! Michael Jackson secretly wishes he could have replaced Vince Neil in the band Motley Crue!
Yeah, it was Dr. Feelgood. He was really enamored with that song. And
Can
he
you
wanted
imagine?
the bridge.
Now with the power of AI, you can take Vince's vocals and you can just fucking put Michael Jackson in there.
You're right. Exactly.
Cocaine!
Yeah, so
Unbelievable. That's fucking awesome.
Michael wanted the bridge of the song to transform into Dr. Feelgood. And you'll hear that we came up with a riff that is reminiscent of Dr. Feelgood in the bridge.
Oh,
By the way,
yes,
this will get us yanked off of YouTube, won't it? Michael
No, you just
Jackson.
get, no, you just get
don't worry about it.
demonetized. That's all.
We don't make any money anyway.
I don't either. Yeah. I'd rather use the
This
song.
part.
And not,
Yeah.
coming. It's coming.
This is
It's almost here. Here it comes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Crank that up, Tim.
What is that? Yeah.
That's it.
I'm the one who has a chimpanzee. Right?
So that's what he wanted, but here's the real story. He was normal and nice,
Yeah.
and his face looked normal, and he looked me in the eye the whole time.
And he didn't talk like this. His
He
voice
does
is-
talk like that.
His voice is like this.
Yeah,
It's like
no,
Tim.
he did talk like that. Yeah.
Don't. It's us. It's the round table. You can tell us the truth.
He was cool.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Did you ever see him in Westwood like I did in a limo
I think
with
we did
Emmanuel
once,
Lewis?
but that was years before. He
Dressed-
used to eat the Good Earth, or the Good... Was it the Good Earth? Or
Wasn't
was
that
Good
place
Earth.
fucking awesome in
yeah,
Studio City?
yeah. Wasn't there one in Westwood, too?
There was.
Yeah, right.
That tea. Do they
There
still
was
have
Old
this?
World and there was Good Earth.
Yeah, he might have been at the old world, but the pancakes at the Good Earth were incredible.
Great. We ate them together at one point. With they had that weird like bacon bit like scramble-y thing too with the cream cheese.
Oh my, I remember that. Yeah, but they had like a custom syrup that wasn't really syrup. That was healthy.
Yeah.
They had blueberries in the pancakes. It
So
was
good.
incredible.
So good.
Good times.
By the way, this is when in the time machine when I go back, it's like, Tim, it's the 90s are coming. We got to get you. Horsepower has got to get back together, right? That's where I would have seen you at the Good Earth.
Yeah.
You know, so cool, so cool. Well, Tim, I thank you for letting me ruin your evening. Okay.
I got to come back. There's more. There's so much more.
You want more of this?
Yeah,
You're welcome.
I am coming
You can come back any
We just
fucking
got
time.
started.
How about the second Friday of every month?
Yeah, that's what we need. I
No,
gotta really open up, man.
How about this? Here's what I want, okay? I want you to actually assemble Horsepower the band. And I want you to play. Okay? One time.
Okay.
The one time only.
The suit and
You're
hair
going to get
too,
the
please.
suit. You're going to wear the wig or whatever.
Yep.
Okay? And Horsepower is going to premiere their first hit. Okay? Can we do that?
Yes, we can.
Can I audition?
This is where we're gonna do it. We're
Can
gonna
I
do it
audition
right
to be
here.
the lead singer of
This is such a
Horsepower?
fucking,
Absolutely.
you're an Albuquerque jerk right now. Now you want in
No,
Horsepower.
you know the
I
singer.
want in.
You're the lead singer.
I
heard
could
you.
do it.
Are you?
Yeah. I just heard you
I could
sing.
do
He's the lead singer. Fucking.
He's
can
the
do
lead
it.
singer.
How the fuck did I get shafted in
He's
this?
a
Fine.
singer.
All right, fine. No, fine. You Albuquerque dicks, Horsepower.
Tingley Coliseum, let me hear you,
I get it.
motherfuckers!
I get it. Okay, this is going to happen. Horsepower from New Mexico is going to perform their number one hit from an alternate reality in the coming weeks, or you guys have to have enough time to rehearse whatever this fucking track is. You got to find other fucking people from other New Mexicans.
We all need.
That's it? Yeah. Wow. This is what you can expect that night.
It's songwriting.
Okay.
I bring songwriting skills to the
Well, this was a tremendous treat. I really thank you so much. I do hope that you had fun.
I did. I still am.
I hope this rekindles that we get to spend more quality time together.
We will.
It really is incredible. For people who don't know about Tim, you can follow him on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And he has all of these amazing courses. You can learn. Well, you can't ever be as cool as Tim. That's impossible. But you can try real hard, right?
Right.
So you have hundreds and hundreds of lessons, right?
So it's very simple. It's a subscription. You just join, and there's 150 hours of video lessons and tutorials, and it gets bigger all the time. I add to it all the time. So.
Yeah, but it is incredible. I mean, you have this loyal audience, us included, and the way you deconstruct songs and how you show people to play. And I think I told you, there was this one video that you actually did with Rick Beato. Beata or Beato?
Beato, yeah, Beato.
With Rick Beato, another popular musicologist kind of a guy. Good dude. But you guys did a session. You've done a few where you guys are on each other's shows or have some conversations. I have never been more anxious and more excited to get back into the studio, hearing you talk about your approach to music and how you would play lead and then the rhythm part. And it really is. It's pretty fucking awesome. I get why Richard is so geeked out. And he's honestly embarrassing, but I mean, I did this for you. I did this for you.
Thank you.
No, you're incredible.
Okay, we're all a family now.
No, we had a prayer circle. Half of the tables in horsepower.
We have horsepower.
Yeah, it's all great. Yeah. So again, thank you so much. And it's true. If you ever want to borrow the Gibson SG,
That will happen.
well, good. I look forward to that. I look forward to having you back on. Thank you so much for a very special guitar edition of Rock Tales with Tim Pierce,
Thank you.
the man, the myth, the legend. I love you.
Love you too.
Turn it on, sound.